Hello. Welcome to the Nielsen Ratings, our regular chat show every Tuesday night at 10 o'clock, where we review films and TV shows predominantly that we think you should watch, or shows that we thought were going to be good. And if they weren't, well, we'll let you know about that too. Got a great panel lined up tonight. Going to be talking about various things, but our primary focus this evening is going to be on two shows, Black Doves, which there's a lot to say about, and also Landman, starring Billy Bob Thornton. We might squeeze in a couple of other things, but those two in particular, I have made sure all of my panel have watched at least one of those shows. Before we go on, I just want to say a very sincere, heartfelt thanks to everybody who stepped up and purchased a copy of my book. We'll be able to test to see which of my panel have supported me this evening. We can get them to come on camera and show their books off. But seriously, joking aside, it's been great to get pictures coming in of people from all over the world holding up a copy of Silver Screen Journeys. We noticed an absolute calamity of an error in the book today, which is that we accidentally called Kelly Savalas, and neither myself nor the proofreader spotted it. So if you've got a current edition of the book with that mistake in it, that's going to be a rare copy because it's been corrected, that mistake now already. But yeah, several editions will have that book. It is out, Aaron. It's out. It's available on Amazon.com for the United States, Amazon.co.uk for UK, and various other places around the world. Shall we bring our panel in? I think we should. Don't forget, though, if you do get a copy of the book, don't forget to leave a review on Amazon once you've had a read. That is so important. You can leave reviews on Goodreads, places like that. I've already had my first review in. It wasn't much of a review. It was more, I'm giving this book to my sister, but therefore it gets 5 stars out of 5. That's all good. That's all helpful. But actual reviews of the book are going to be carrying more weight anyway. Okay. So first of all, back from his bus depot duty.
Yeah.
Loser. How's it going, man?
I'm going to stand for 45 Lance because they're only showing one showing today. No one's talking about it. Remember you and me about a month ago watched a show for The Return with Ray Fiennes? No one's talking about it. There's only one showing, so I want to go check it out tonight.
So you're going to go and see The Return in a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'll stand for 45, but because just as no one's like, there's only one showing, no reviews out, no hype. Like the trailer's got low views. Like no one's. It looks good. I don't know what's going on, man.
Okay, yeah, this is the one about Odysseus returning to Ithaca.
I mean,
I think Greek, interesting.
Yeah, I think, and he's a big enough actor where people should care. But maybe it's the holiday season or something, or I don't know.
Let's see if any of our other panelists have heard about The Return. This is the first I've heard of this film, by the way. My regular co-host Stupenzo is in the house, currently hiding behind that comment.
Yeah, Odysseus is all jacked. Yeah. The Odyssey. He comes back, and apparently it's going to be pretty good. Artsy fartsy, though. So you might fall asleep, blue collar, especially if you're drinking some booze right now. But yeah, I don't know. I think this movie might be pretty interesting. Ray Fiennes. It looks like it's funny because he looks all skinny and hairy and old, and not really chiseled, not really like muscular, but like just defined and kind of like emaciated. But yeah, I guess Odysseus comes back from the Odyssey. All of his men are dead, and it's kind of like the story of like, Odysseus coming, like the very latter end of the Odyssey.
It's like a Greek Norman Rockwell coming home sort of thing.
Yeah, the story about how he fires the arrow through the axes, whatever. Yep. That's going to be like the big climax.
Let me get in the rest of my panelists. We've got representing the British contingent, Northern English Bastard from the north,
hello, you beautiful bastard.
From the south, the infinitely more superior part of the country. It's the Inside Man.
Evening, mother fluffers. How you doing?
Doing well,
dude.
Doing well.
Not doing well, man. Yeah.
Have either of you two heard of this movie?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit of heard a few things about it, but I don't know. I've heard of it, but I don't know much of it. I kind of pretty much what you've skated over. That's all I know.
Yeah. I've seen both these actors act together before in that Wuthering Heights remake back in the 90s.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, pretty good on that. They were pretty good together in that film, even though they were both kind of terrible people who kind of ruined each other in a way. But he's an old man, but he still looks fucking jacked. I mean,
I wonder if because Gladiator had so much marketing, for better or for worse, maybe that overshadowed this. Because I've also saw one trailer for this film. And
I think this movie is going to be more like indie art house. It's this is not going to be a big action flick.
There's going to be lots of scenes with this. There's going to be lots of threading through this machine, montages.
They do show in the trailer. The trailer definitely has an R rating. Like he's gutting guys and he's covered in blood and stuff. And he's fighting people. I'm not saying like a lot of action, but I'm curious. I mean, who doesn't like Ray Fiennes?
Dude, what about Ray Fiennes in the 28 years later, man? That looks dope. Here's what's funny. I am so stupid. I woke up this morning and I woke up at 3 a.m. because I went to bed all early yesterday, and I woke up and the trailer for 28 years later had dropped.
Yeah.
And I was like, I watched it.
We're
it's
gonna
great.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what's funny is I was like, dude, you know what? I didn't realize. I feel so stupid for not noticing this. But Ray Fiennes, he's coming back as that character from the first movie. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, that's Eccleston. Now I'm being stupid. I get it. I had a brain fart this morning. But yeah, Ray Fiennes looking a lot like Meteor in this 28 years later trailer.
The interesting thing about 28 years later is it was my understanding is it was all shot on iPhones.
Yeah, it looks great.
Wow.
I talked about this on my show, but yeah, we see the iPhones they're shooting with, and they're like gigantic camera rigs, but they just have like a little iPhone attached to it. So it's still like a huge camera, it's hilarious. But dude, I was reading about the poem they had in the background, the Boots, Boots, Boots by Rudyard Kipling. And because I was like, what the hell is this? And I look up into it. Check this out. This poem, that recording that they used is from some actor named Taylor something or other back in the 30s. They used that poem recording on repeat for seer training in the British Army. So the idea is if you're ever captured and they try to torture you, you not to psychologically break. So they play this poem on repeat for hours, and this poem made a bunch of people lose it, so it's pretty cool. But yeah,
I feel the important part of that statement was, hey, I'm so stupid. I thought news to all of us, Enzo.
People think I call myself Stupenzo because it's stupendous. It's like no, it's stupid Enzo.
Makes sense.
Well, good to know. He is looking very sinewy.
Yeah, I think this had it got like awards for Toronto Film Festival or something, but it's got there's a reason they put it out in theaters. So
yeah, I feel this is inside man's body with Ray Fiennes' head CGI'd on.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I can totally buy this as a much more older, weary Odysseus, who's been through so much shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think certainly in the review wars, I think this is really going to trounce Gladiator 2. I think there's no.
That's not saying a lot.
So there's 7 user reviews. 7 user reviews on IMDb. They're all pretty good. The 6 out of 10 is the most critical. There's some spoilers, so mute me now.
I mean, it's based on the Odyssey. What's going to spoil it? He's going to win.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The sense
does
of
not
loss
give time to develop the same intensity. The main climax feels rushed.
I feel like everyone's stupid, man. I'm always saying why, turn this show into a movie. And then I feel every time I'm hearing about movies, a bunch of morons on the internet, this should have been a show. This should have been a series. This should have been 12 hours long. No, stop it.
I'm okay with this being a movie.
Right.
Well, okay, Blue, come back next week, man, and tell us tell us what it's like, all right?
Tell us about werewolves since you saw that.
Well, yeah, I did want to tell Lance you guys about werewolves because that was based on Nadia. She interviewed one of the actors from Werewolves.
Oh, the director.
So,
the director. Sorry,
I
the actor too.
I wrote to the director to try and get him on my channel, actually. Well, we'll talk about Werewolves briefly because you've seen it, right?
Yeah, it's like,
so you guys will remember that I saw the trailer for this and I showed it on the Nielsen ratings, and none of you had even heard of it at that time. And I said, let's check out the trailer, and we all thought it looked pretty good. So now you've seen it. What's it like?
It's like Enzo said we talked about earlier. The trailer is the entire movie. That's it. Just watch the trailer. You watch the entire film.
Is there nudity in it?
No, there isn't.
Is there violence? There's a lot of violence, though.
Of course, yeah. So the premise is there was a supermoon, not a moon, a supermoon, and this turns everybody into werewolves. What happens is Frank Grillo is a scientist because that's believable. And what happens is
he's a scientist.
Yes, he's a scientist.
It's like when Halle Berry was like a scientist in that James Bond movie.
So they're testing out this new way to combat the werewolves because the moon rays hit our bodies and it alters your DNA. So instead of having sunscreen, they have moon screen.
Why don't you just hide underground or something? Doesn't that work?
Stop asking questions.
Because moon screen.
Yes. So Frank Grillo and the test people out, they're wearing a new liquid that will stop the moon's rays from hitting their skin, and they could battle the werewolves by wearing moon screen.
I was in a chill wave band called Moon Screen,
and that's the entire plot.
But is it as a fun horror film out of 10? Any good?
Oh God. Oh yeah. No, there's no horror. It's cheesy one-liner from one-liner. It's action set piece. But like Nadia said, you guys will appreciate it's just all practical effects, except for some CGI when transforming. All the werewolves, all the costume designs are fucking fantastic. Like they look great. The kills are gory, and yeah, it's just bad, cheesy, B-rated dialogue. So yeah, it's a trailer. Yeah. So,
but I mean, what would you give it out of 10?
Oh God, it's probably like a 5 out of 10. But it's for me like
it's only a 5.
Because the kind of it's a B-rated movie, Lance. What I'm saying, but I loved it. But I'm not going to say it's a great film. It's a stupid werewolf action comedy. It is what it is. It's not a great film, but like it's a dumb grab a drink and some pizza and just sit back and watch the stupid. Like people in the audience were laughing, not because the way the werewolves were killing people, but like it was so over the top, like ridiculous. But yeah, so it's a 5.
There's Katrina Law from Spartacus, by the way.
Yes,
I thought she looked familiar.
Yeah. Well, you guys have all been there. Come on, how it's like even like Evil Dead, but all these cheesy B-rated.
Was there at least
films,
some good like thrills, and was there at least some moments where you're scared the werewolf's gonna get you or something?
Of course not. No, it's just Frank Grillo's got. Come on, Frank Grillo's got machine guns. He's got.
I want like the Velociraptor kitchen scene, but with werewolves. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
But it's just. But I think it's just. But it's
disappointing, man.
But for what it is though, it's just a B movie. It's just a B movie with practical effects. So
I wanted to see a movie where the guy's like trying to hide from a werewolf, and you see how futile that is because a werewolf walks into your house and you can just smell exactly where you are. You know what I mean? Like they just go right into the room you are, right into the closet, just go right to you. That's what I would love to see.
This is a film.
Anybody else seen this movie?
Me and Enzo would have a good time watching this. It's grab some alcohol, you'll have fun. I'm not saying it's just
Blue's the only one who saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know? I was actually expecting this to be the werewolf equivalent of 30 Days of Night. That's what I was expecting.
No,
because there's more of a fight. It seems like it's like it's like The Purge, but with werewolves is what it really is.
Yeah, pretty much is.
I mean, I don't mind it being more of an action werewolf film.
Oh no, like I'm saying, Lance, it's all of us, everybody on this panel, we all love stupid films. It's a stupid film, but no, me and my kid, he loved it. The audience was having a great time. But it's like the Terrifier films. Let's not pretend the Terrifier films are good movies. I mean, but
shut your mouth, man. Dispersions on my taste in films. I only watch highbrow intellectual entertainment. I'll have you know.
I will say this: was way better than Gladiator 2. So.
Well, that's not a very high bar, is it? Let's be honest.
I've yet to see Gladiator 2.
Oh, no, God.
Beyond Real Talk is thanking Toxic for last week for recommending Special Ops Lioness. I haven't seen that yet, so we won't talk about that again today. But just finished the first season. I've seen the first season; it's very good.
I need to get down and I need to get onto that as well. Because Toxic wants me on this stream to talk about it. So
yeah,
be very surprised if I do this week.
Yeah, I'll come on and talk about it. Don't forget, anyone watching, I'm available to come on any stream at any time to plug my book, which is now out. So,
you got a book?
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a book out. Did I forget to mention that?
Yeah, congratulations, Lance.
Thank you, Leroy. You guys, most of you guys are mentioned in it, actually, at the back. So if you get a copy, you'll see your names in there. And then there's a kind of thanking all my YouTube collaborators, of which the list would be very, 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 very long indeed. But yeah, look, let's get to our main topic this evening, because I'm interested to hear views. I have a feeling that the views may diverge a bit on this one, and so we're gonna talk about Black Doves first. So, has everybody on the panel watched at least 2 episodes of this?
Yeah.
So, Chris, you not seen anything?
I'm still on episode 6 now as we watch. I've got the subtitles on, so
no, that's right. But you don't need to have seen it all. But so, Blue, you've not seen any of it?
No, I just started watching The Madness. I'm trying to keep up, Lance. The Madness is good.
I haven't watched The Madness.
Watching that.
It's got the guy from Fear the Walking Dead, the black dude. Really
Leroy,
good.
how many episodes did you see?
I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I did manage to look it up on Netflix. And
Leroy, I told you specifically if you wanted to come on, you had to watch Black Doves, man.
I'm sorry, man. I got sidetracked.
All right, but you have watched Landman, so I'll let you down.
I have watched. I've been watching Landman, and let me tell you something. That show's good, but we'll get to that later.
Well, we ain't talking about that yet, but when we do, you can have at least 30 seconds. Okay, possibly more. So Black Doves then. Well, those of us that have seen it. So I binged it. I saw it all in one go, pretty much. I think maybe 5 episodes, and then the 6th the following day. I've got things I like about it. I've got a couple of things I don't like about it. Inside Man, I know you've seen the whole thing, mate, so I'm going to let you jump in.
Okay. Well, you want me to just quickly go through a basic synopsis of what's going on?
Okay, give us. Give us a brief rundown of what it's about, and then give me your. Don't do out of 10 yet. We'll do that at the end. But your overall thoughts.
Yeah, so it's kind of a wheels within wheels of government kind of tale. There are assassinations. There are what we would consider to be kind of secret agents in it. I thought it was going to be very, very complex. So there is some kind of government intrigue after the death of the suspicious death of the Chinese ambassador, and of course, fingers are starting to be pointed at both the US and the British governments to basically state that they are both complicit in either his death or complicit in covering up the death of this Chinese ambassador. But of course, it runs very, very, considerably deeper than that. I don't really want to be too critical of it. I'd like not to be too critical of it, but to start off with, I thought Keira Knightley was good.
She's better in this than anything else I've seen.
And then
for me, it's her finest hour.
As it went on, I thought she was adequate, and then as it went on even further, I thought she was very, to be kind to her, she was very Daisy Ridley.
Okay.
I don't know. There were a number of characters that I just didn't buy. Ben Whishaw was absolutely outstanding. Really,
he was really good.
He's fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, this was his show. Sarah
Yeah.
Lancashire also very, very good. Really quite
Yeah.
a sinister character. A lot of characters
Kind of
I didn't
taking the
buy.
Judi Dench mantle, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is. Yeah, there's a
But
kind of
tell me, those two lesbian assassins took you out of it a little bit.
yeah. The certainly
We'll come back
the
to them.
Welsh girl. The Welsh girl kind of really took me out of it.
Definitely.
I didn't buy her. I didn't buy her. I didn't buy the other girl assassin that was sent. You know, I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but the other member, the young member of Black Doves, I didn't buy her. I didn't buy the guy. Was it Larry, who kind of hires everyone? Hires Ben Whishaw to go and perform his various hits.
Yeah, the fag hag.
Yeah, I didn't buy. Is it Hector as well? The young guy, the young drug guy. Didn't buy him, and I absolutely did not buy Alex Clark, the Mockney Cockney matriarch of a gangster gangland family. Absolutely, just I didn't buy it. There were so many characters in that just didn't really jive with me. Having said that. Wallace, the guy who plays Wallace, Keira Knightley's husband, in it, I thought he was excellent. Yeah, I thought he was really, really good. And also
met him in a Chinese takeaway once.
Yeah.
Funny.
Oh right.
Yeah.
But also the guy who played the Prime Minister, another one I just didn't buy. I didn't buy it. There were so many characters that I thought there were so many characters that were miscast in this. But yeah, Keira Knightley. She started off really good and she kind of faded and then faded. And I say she suddenly kind of become Daisy Ridley for me, which isn't a good thing at all. But this is Ben Wishaw's show. This is definitely Ben Wishaw's show. He was, every scene that he was in, he was very, very good. He had the best dialogue. And he was the best character. He was the only character that I actually gave a shit about. The only one. He was the only one. Oh, and his partner Michael. They were the only two that I actually gave a shit about.
Michael was played by Amari Douglas, whose kind of big breakout role was in It's a Sin, and I rate him as an actor. I think he's
he was very good.
I like him. Yeah,
and I will just say, there are times when you feel like there are in certain shows and in certain movies that the sort of gay element is forced. This I thought there were certain moments in this that I actually found quite touching. It's very much a love story as well. And I thought it was quite touching, a really touching love story between the pair of them. And it didn't feel like it was forced. It didn't feel like it was, to me anyway, it didn't feel like it was slotted in. It didn't feel like it was rammed in there and jammed in there and you're going to watch this because we're going to show you gay people now. I didn't think it was it certainly wasn't insulting to me as an audience member. It certainly wouldn't be insulting to anybody who was gay because it showed a real touching, quite beautiful, I thought, love story between the pair of them.
Yeah, that felt like it felt very organic the way it fell into the story.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you mean. Whereas the lesbian hitmen really didn't. That for me, it was like they were a bit. They almost felt like they were when you had the two hit women come in as the police, right? And I kind of knew they were a hit team.
Yeah, because they didn't act like polices, did they? I mean, they didn't really blend in.
I could just tell they were gonna be some sort of hit squad, and you heard the chung chung, and they fell down. I thought, wow, what that's really cool. These two kind of young girls that are like a hit squad, and then it's almost like they didn't know what to do with the one that got away. Well, if they were two girls working together, they must have been gay. Therefore, we'll give this girl another gay friend who is going to be a hit woman on the rival team or whatever. That whole narrative was a bit naff, I thought. And it not naff in the sense that it was bad necessarily. It just felt you had a very quite grounded spy story at the center of this thing with quite grounded real characters. And as you say, the love story with Ben Whishaw felt very organic. It felt very real. They both really went for it in the acting stakes. It all felt that all felt great to me. But then you had these very cartoonish characters that felt like they were from a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah,
in this very kind of gritty, serious drama.
Yeah.
So there were these two dichotomy sections of characters that didn't quite all gel in the whole thing. That was. I still like the show. I still recommend the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
me too. Yeah.
It's not quite. It could have been.
Yeah.
I get the sense that there was a bit of a tug of war going on between how funny and comical should we make some of these characters.
Yeah.
Because the Cockney sort of gangster family, all of that all felt very Guy Ritchie, and the little lady with the glasses, who hires Ben Whishaw for his very great character. Loved her as an actress. Felt like she was in a different film.
Can I just ask you what you thought of some of the flashbacks? Because I thought some of the flashbacks were very. Some of them I felt were unnecessary and were padding. But also, I don't know. When it came to the fights, I think Guy Ritchie really kind of. That's a really good point to make, because I think some of the fights kind of felt a little bit like Guy Ritchie does John Wick. You know?
Yeah, I mean the fights were good, the action was good, but it did definitely lent into John Wick action. I mean, the show the show looked great. I loved the shots of London, lots of neon popping everywhere, reflections in the river, these great sky shots, not the same ones we've seen recycled again and again from sort of some library somewhere. These were new shots that I hadn't seen before. Definitely the London of now, lots of recognizable, most recent landmarks, all of that. So it felt very London. Cinematography on the whole show, absolutely first class. It looked good. It was up there with any on the surface, anything that's coming out of American television. This totally competed. You had two cinematographers that worked on it, Mark Patton and Giulio Beccari, and they did 3 episodes each. And it looked like it had all been shot by one guy. So they clearly worked well together and went for a cohesive look. Jane Featherstone produced this. Keira Knightley's got a producer's credit, I assume, in lieu of her usual fee. Some kind of back end deal. But in terms of writers, you've really only got Joe Barton, who created and wrote the whole thing. 2 directors, Alex Kabisi and Lisa Gunning. So that's a pretty tight team, just 2 directors and 1 writer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it felt to me like the overall cohesive vision of it got torn a couple of different directions. There were 8 producers on it, including Joe Barton. So that's a lot of voices for sure. Plus, it's BBC, isn't it? I think not BBC, but it's a Netflix co-production with somebody. I forget who the other company was. So again, even more voices. Okay. So Enzo, did you watch it?
I watched the first episode and I didn't care to finish the rest. I don't know. It just seemed like the long kiss goodnight, but extra British. And it's
What's
just
wrong with that?
I don't know. I already knew I wasn't gonna
urban British, like this blood, this urban blood, man.
In it,
kind of London talk, man.
No, it was just more like I already knew
what accent was that, mate? What accent was that?
I think it was Welsh.
It's my very bad impression of the more urban Londoners, like the LG talking can't.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, Enzo. Carry on.
Well, I don't know. It just seemed like I can already see where it's going. Homegirl meets Keira Knightley. Yeah, by the way, she's fine. She does have I would say Daisy Ridley has Keira Knightley vibes. I wouldn't say it the other way around. Keira was here first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this guy, you know, what's his name? Wiselow, the actor. I don't know.
Wishaw.
Yeah.
Wishaw.
He's all right. It's just the same character. You know, he's so cool. Everything he does is just so, you know, he's not even trying. You know, I don't like that. I also Keira Knightley. You know, I get it. She's a like a womanly matriarch of a family, and she's actually some kind of secret super spy, and her past is going to come back to haunt her, and people are going to get killed, and the family's going to be in danger, and she's going to have to cut her hair off and kick everyone's ass with the help of her ex-lover or whatever, whoever this guy is.
She's actually been, well, you kind of got that wrong. She's actually been deliberately inserted in that family and is on a mission the whole time. So she's a deep cover agent. It's not past catching up with her. It's all part of her current mission, basically.
Okay, so in that case, it's going to be all about, do you even love me, the husband, you know, or are these kids, do you even care about them? That'll be the big thing. And but I do, you know, I've grown to love the children.
Funny enough, that scene is, that scene's not in the show.
Is there another season coming up?
There is the scene with the husband, isn't it? You know, I think it's is it Christmas Eve, and he says, "Oh, I do love you," you know.
Of course you do. I'm Keira Knightley. Why wouldn't you be?
It's not.
I'm half your age and I'm super hot.
The way you guys are talking about the show kind of reminds me like Salt.
It's got some sort of vibes.
It seems less, you know, over the top. It seems a little more like it's like very dialogue heavy. A lot of people on phone calls talking about the, you know, secret shit, backdoor dealings. It's just like, oh my god, I don't care. I don't want I don't want 5 more hours of this.
Shows like that shows like that ain't my cup of tea after seeing Salt, man.
But there's a lot of action in it, Stupenzo. If you'd watch the second episode, it's like gunfights galore, man. So it's a shame you didn't do one more, but fair enough. Northern, give us you've nearly watched the whole thing, 5 episodes and a half. What are your thoughts overall?
It's adequate, but I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy a little bit, and yet there are some cool little intricate spy, very mysterious, dodgy government going on kind of things that I did like, and Ben Whishaw is fucking great in it. I mean, he fucking sells every single action scene that he does, and I don't care that he's gay. I don't care that his character's gay. You know, it's okay. Let's have a cool gay action movie. That's action character that's actually well written. But just like I said with Inside Man, the lesbian assassins just took me out of it. They're just like you said, they're completely out of a different movie. And then we got people in charge of all these other syndicates, and they're all women, and you can tell Netflix is still ticking those boxes a little bit though, and it is a little bit distracting. And the lesbian assassins are the worst because they're so over the top. I do not find them convincing. I mean, the way they're acting is okay. If they're around normal people as part of a cover, have them act like that. But when they're on the job, and when they're actually with other assassins, have them be a bit more stoic, a bit more like robotic, because they come across like psychopaths. And they also try to make us sympathize with one of them, and they just killed an old lady on the first episode, an innocent old lady, and I did not see any scene where she seemed to feel any regret about it, one way or the other. And it's and it's like, no, you killed a little old lady. I should hate you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but it's adequate. It's adequate. You know, it's got some good stuff. There's a better shot in there waiting to come out. Netflix, just ease up on the box ticking a little bit, please, and just concentrate on what works for the story, and lose the stupid humor if you're going to do a very good, like dark, gritty spy thriller. Because
I would have preferred the 2 women who did the initial hit to have retreated from that hit, stayed alive, and been very much kind of, you know, cold,
like the antagonist, like the hitmen. They have to escape from all the time. Yeah,
not the one that survived who then hooks up with the other girl. They kind of become this sort of comedy relief, and it's all a bit cheese, you know.
I know it's kind of weird as well. I mean, she's kind of a whore as well. She has one lover killed and then she just hops on another. It's like, Yeah, you're terrible. You're a terrible person. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as no one else has seen it, we'll do our ratings out of 10. But again, strong points for me are cast on the whole are pretty good. I didn't think that, there wasn't one actor that I went, oh my God, this person's terrible. Some were better than others, but overall casting was strong. It is very much Ben Whishaw's finest hour. The thing about Keira Knightley is she's always playing a degree of a different posh bird, basically. What I thought this movie allowed her to do was at least show a bit of emotional range, because she was playing two different characters. And you're right, in the first two episodes, she got to play on that a bit. But then as it sort of went further in, she just kind of was, those layers kind of disappeared, didn't they? And it became a bit more one note. But it's the best thing I've seen her do. Sam Troughton, son of Doctor Who, Mr. Patrick Troughton, is also.
Patrick Troughton, oh.
Yeah, Sam Troughton is also in the show. He plays Stephen Yarrick.
Oh my God, is that him?
Yeah, that's Sam Troughton.
Oh wow, yeah, he was actually pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty slimy, wasn't he? He wasn't a particularly nice character, but I liked him. Yeah, I liked him.
I mean, he was sort of quite good in that role, I thought. And obviously they've set it up so that he can come back for another season. So yeah, Andrew Buchanan as the husband, perfectly fine. Sarah Lancashire was having a ball in this part. She was definitely reveling, sort of playing a kind of Judi Dench, slightly meaner Judi Dench.
Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of a little bit of a Judi Dench, come Helen Mirren type of character.
Yeah.
She's I liked her, but she's bloody good in everything that she's done. I mean, even if you don't like everything that she's been in, she's always been the best thing in whatever she's been in for the most part.
Keira Knightley looked like she's aged a bit in this picture.
Well, that's what happens.
She don't look like she's aged much since.
So she has aged, because she's older than when you saw her last. So,
I liked her in King Arthur.
Oh man, that's a topic for another time. Yeah, so
she's sort of a weird actress to pin down, because I don't know if she has a lot of range. Because remember the film Domino, where she played that?
Oh my God, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, she's come across as a posh lass trying to add to look all cool and edgy, and and it's not one of Tony Scott's best.
Was that Ridley Scott, or was that Tony Scott the director? Tony Scott.
Yeah, it's not his best film, but Mickey Rourke is fucking cool though.
Yeah, I saw that at the cinema. Okay, gentlemen, time to give the Nielsen rating for this. I give it, despite the things that let it down, I give it a good 7.5. It's a soft recommendation from me, with some caveats, but I think overall, people that are looking for an easy watch, quite entertaining, with some good action, some fun moments, good performances, I can recommend it. People that are expecting, because the first 20 minutes, half an hour of this are proper gritty. The first episode is very dark, very gritty, and then it tonally it kind of eases up a bit. So that does leave you into a bit of a false narrative. So if you're expecting Smiley's people with a few more guns, but still the same grittiness, this is not that show. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10 from me. Inside Man.
I don't want to be cruel about it, because in a weird way, I actually quite enjoyed this.
Right.
And I do like Keira Knightley. She's okay. But I can't give it any more than a 6. But I enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to anybody. If they want some, a little bit of kind of mindless entertainment. And a lot of it is mindless entertainment, but there's also some terrific performances in there. But I don't think I could give it any more than a 6. But I'd watch. I'd recommend it.
Okay, good. Northern.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10. There are some good ideas. It's just the execution isn't always the best on the show, but I still. I think that, like I said, I mean, there's some good ideas there. It just needs better execution.
It depends. You only watch one episode, so you know.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you guys talking about it aren't making me regret. I stopped the show. You gotta burn through it. All you guys are like, it's adequate.
I mean, you know, I thought it was fun. So yeah, it's got some things to recommend it. All right. So before we get on to Landman, we're gonna take a risk, and we're gonna watch a trailer together, guys. So let's check out the trailer for 28 Days Later and see what we think of it.
28 years later.
Thank you. 28 years.
Sit, Auntie, what's going on? Don't sit still, keep quiet and do not move from the spot.
Seven, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles a day, 4, 11, 17, 22 the day before. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them. There's no discharge in the war. If your eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Right, to think of something different. Oh, people going lunatic. Moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. 7, 6, 11, 5, 4, 7.
All right.
Yeah, like I said, they would play that recording over and over again and torture people with it.
I am so not going to see this movie.
I think the hype's real. I think the trailer's got to
be good. Please be bloody good.
Okay, so I'm going to give each guest about a minute. Leroy, you can go first as you didn't get to talk about the last thing. Why are you not going to go and see it?
Because I'm really getting sick and tired of these zombie movies and shows. I mean, just from this trailer, as someone who's never watched an episode of The Walking Dead, this looks like a ripoff of The Walking Dead. And I'm just getting sick and tired of these. I saw 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, and they were okay, but I mean, I'm just sick and tired of these zombie movies and these zombie shows. Everyone is so obsessed with zombies and the undead and all that mess. It's just too much.
Okay, so basically you've seen too many zombie movies. You don't think this is offering you anything different?
Nope.
It's just okay. It's a summary. Okay. All right. So, Blue Collar. I know you've got to head to the cinema soon, so I'll let you go next. Are you going to watch this movie?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, watch the first two, and it's like, I'm not so much as hyped up, but just curious because it's 28 years later. But it's the cast looks fantastic. I mean, Aaron Johnson's doing great right now.
I'm going to start a poll in the chat. I've started the poll. Yes or no? Are you going to see 28 Days Later? Let's see what people say. Inside Man?
Definitely going to go and see this one. Absolutely. I mean, I do like the first one. I got a real soft spot for the first one.
Yeah.
Kind of, the second one's okay. But we have to remember that with 28 Days Later, this was the movie that reinvented and reinvigorated the zombie movie. Or the zombie genre, if you like, because prior to this, we all know exactly what they were like. They were just kind of slow shuffling, groaning, Shaun of the Dead type zombies. This really injected something into that, I like the first two movies. I love the first movie. I like very much the second movie, and I'm hoping to like this one. You know, you can only be hopeful, can't you, when you see a trailer like this? I wanted to like Gladiator 2, and I wanted to like Alien Romulus, but you know, as much as you want to like something, you know, you can't will yourself to like something. But I'm going in with no real expectations, apart from expecting a good movie. You know,
well,
that's
always
that's
always good. 15 people watching. Cast your votes in the chat. Yes or no? Are you going to see 28 years later based on this trailer? Yeah. So Northern, yes or no?
Yeah, I'll go see it. I love the first movie. The second one's I can probably skip.
Enzo.
Dude, the first movie, reinvented the the zombie genre. Yeah. And the thing, Leroy, you'll be happy to know they're not zombies in 28 years later. They're infected people. They have a virus. You can they can die from starvation. They can die from all sorts of things. They're just humans. But the virus is so scary because, one drop of blood turns you into a rage monster instantly. Also, it gave birth to the fast zombies, which I'm not really a fan of. I do like the infected being fast, the rage virus, but zombies, like, they can start out fast, but I think as they, decay, they slowly become, rigor mortis and bloated and slow. I'm actually shocked, though, to see that. I was going to make a joke that you see Cillian Murphy for a second there, raising up out of the.
Yeah, that's
not him.
Here's what's funny. I was going to make a joke. I look on the internet and there are news sites reporting that this is him. It's like, no, it isn't. Don't be stupid. Come on. Secondly, I do think like there's a lot of references to Jimmy. There's like Jimmy written on the wall, and then there's Jimmy carved in the dude's belly. Jim was the name of Cillian Murphy's character in the first one, so maybe I don't know, that'd be fun. But I just love the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack to the first movie. So great. It turned me on to Granddaddy and a bunch of other good bands. Godspeed You Black Emperor. And I think with the second one, they knew they were kind of just doing just a generic sequel. But I think Danny Boyle is not stupid, and he knows kind of what audiences want, or they don't realize they want. But I know he's probably aware that we don't want to be jerked around with some bullshit sequel. I'm hoping 28 years later can kind of breathe some fresh breath. I mean, they keep talking about how the virus has evolved. It's all evolved since now. I think they're also talking about the movie, the genre. I hope they do something cool with it. The big tower of skeletons. The big Stonehenge made out of bones. I mean, that's awesome. It looks cool.
It's getting a bit cultish now, isn't it? What's happened?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we saw at the end of the second one. I mean, the second one is, like you said, take it or leave it. But the second one is when it broke out of the island. The first one, you realize England is being quarantined. It's basically the island of England. But yeah, it's like the end of the second one. We see the infected running around Paris, and we can only assume it spread like crazy from there. Who knows? Maybe the Western continent are still good. Maybe it's still all hunky dory in the United States and Canada and Mexico. Who knows? But yeah, how does the virus cross rivers and the oceans? That's what they talk about in the first one. But like I said, the infected are interesting because they're not zombies, they're not undead. You can seriously like hold out in a bunker for a few months and wait for the infected to starve to death, and hopefully things will be all right.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I am going to go and see it. I like the look of this. There's lots of things about it that just look interesting. Clearly, there's like different survivor cults that have turned up. This location is a real location. I think that they've CGI'd the causeway and made it.
It looks like the shape of Greenland.
This is the island of. This is known as Holy Island or Lindisfarne. It's off the northeast coast of England. You pass it on a particular train route. You get a really good view of it. In fact, and this is the little town that's being
it's also mentioned in the Arthur legend.
That's right. And you've got Lindisfarne Castle here. as well. So which you get a really good view of again from the train. And there's another big castle just near this, just a bit further down. I think Bamborough Castle just here. There's a massive castle here on the coast. Really great location for a movie if one could ever afford to rent it from National Rip-Off Trust. So but National Money Grabbing Trust. If we have if we go to Street View here on this car park, there's Bamborough Castle in the background there, which surely should have appeared in more films. And the castle with the other, that's actually the island over there. That is the island. So there you go. So real place.
Can I go ahead and just say how happy I was that the movie trailer did not have a pop song that was remixed to be halftime?
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate that crap.
I'm sick of hearing those in trailers. I really am.
Yeah, and it just takes you out of the whole thing.
I'm liking the Barbie world.
I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. Shut up.
Blue, how you doing for your movie timing?
I guess a couple more minutes I can kill.
Okay, so I think this looks interesting. I'm kind of, I'm curious to know what this is in the movie. What do people reckon? What do people reckon it is?
I think Jimmy's gonna be the bad guy, or there's some kind of cult. But yeah, these are the little towers seem to be made out of like femurs and arm and leg bones, and the big pyramids in the corner in the center is a bunch of skulls. That's badass.
It's very, very cool. I mean,
I think there's skulls and stuff peppered throughout all the little towers too. But yeah. So bit of a practical set augmented with a lot of CGI, I'm guessing. But yeah, it looks good. Looks good. Aaron thinks the trailer looks good. Is that a Christmas tree? Quite Christmas movie confirmed.
First Viking attack. Yeah, that's Lindisfarne. That's right.
It kind of looks like the Christmas tree robot Santa from Futurama would build, though.
Beyond real talk, I'm curious how much they managed to get out of an iPhone if it was really filmed on an iPhone. I have it on authority that iPhones were used. I can't say to what degree they were exclusively used. Inside Man, do you have any additional inside information on that?
I heard that I did hear that they were being used, and I'm glad that it's been confirmed. I know that I think we all know that Danny Boyle shot Slumdog on the iPads, and the behind the scenes footage of that is actually quite interesting to watch. Especially chases through the streets and everything with the iPads. I did hear about this. But I kind of thought it was a little bit of a rumor. Oh, have you heard they're making this zombie movie on iPhones? Right, okay. But I'm pleased about it. Why not?
According to sources online, it says the whole movie was shot entirely on an iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Fantastic. And what a way to actually get an awful lot of your budget paid by Apple.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty smart. I mean, remember the first movie? That was one of the very first early digital cinema movies,
and it looked so cool. It looked rough. It looked rough on the edges. It gives it that vibe.
So I've got I'm sort of hopeful that this will add something. It's going to add something to the world that we haven't seen before. I'm curious to know who the dude is in the mask. And this is the shot you're talking about.
Yeah, people are like, Cillian Murphy makes his return in 28 years later trailer. I'm like, first of all, that's not Cillian Murphy. Second of all, that's probably not the same character. I was going to make a joke that it was, and I was shocked to see the media like reporting it as fact.
I don't know. It could be him. I mean, it's got his face a little bit. I can see
unless Danny Boyle comes out and be like, "Yep, that's him." Like, no, that's not him. Shut up. Like, no way.
It was ruining the ending of the first one as well because he kind of left there on an ambiguous note that
No,
whether
they
him
purposely,
and
they were
Naomi
going to
Harris
have an
made it.
original ending where he gets infected. The original
Yeah,
ending,
I've
they had
seen that
proposed,
original ending. Yeah, he fucking dies. He dies at the end.
or
And
no,
Naomi Harris and the
another,
little girl walk off
another,
into the dome. It's very bleak.
yeah, but another ending that they didn't even shoot. They were trying to think about like, okay,
Yeah,
they
he
were
gets
going to propose.
infected, and he had the whole plot hole with transferring the blood. You have to,
Yeah, they were going
you
to
have to
propose
empty every single vein for it to work. All that shit.
and they were going to propose like a cure, like the idea that the dad character, Brendan Gleeson's character, gets infected. There's a cure. All you have to do is just find a uninfected person and transfer every drop of blood. You know, yeah. I mean, that was like
drain every single blood out of the person as well, which does lead to a lot of lapses in logic. And I am not surprised they scrapped it.
But the idea was like, yeah, the ending of the original movie was going to be him on like a gurney on a table, like tied up and infected, and just leaving him there, which would have been terrible. The ending of the first movie is so good. That's why the 28 Days Later is great, because every zombie movie has like a bad ending except that movie. That's the only one where I could think of where everyone gets rescued. And
you don't know if they do get rescued. They just it ends with Naomi Harris saying, "Do you think he saw us this time?" And then cuts to Cillian Murphy's face. And it ends.
It's implied heavily.
Yeah, it's implied that they could have been picked up. They probably didn't. Who knows? I don't want to know.
Is this Alex Garland again? Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm quite keen to see it. I'd quite like to see it at the cinema. And now, as a filmmaker, I'm like, hey, guys, all club together and get me an iPhone 15 Max for my Christmas present, please. And I can go off and shoot movies with it. I can shoot a movie with the phone I've got. It's just fetish of kit. That's what that is. So yeah, 28 years later, do we know the release date?
June. I think it said June of 2025.
Right.
Damn, we got like 6 months to wait. Shit, you can't be dropping us a trailer like that with 6 months to wait. That's just.
That's how you. They like with Nosferatu, man. When they know they got something good, I feel like they promote it. They don't mind wasting the promotion money. Lately, you're seeing a lot of these movies that are just kind of getting like released onto us, and it's like, all right, this movie sucks, but people might watch it, so let's just put it out there, word of mouth kind of thing. But I think when there is like a legitimate need for hype. I think the point about releasing the trailer so soon is like kind of, people are wondering, is this going to be any good? I think this kind of is like building the hype. The trailer's like, this is going to be neat. Check it out.
Okay. Fair enough. We're going to move on. But yeah, 28 days later, coming not so soon to a cinema near you. It has also got Ralph Fiennes, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, who's rumored to be the next Bond, but I don't think he will be now. Jodie Comer, Jack O'Connell, Cillian Murphy is listed in the credits. Might be a flashback. Who knows?
He's an executive producer of it too.
And Erin Kellyman, who is a controversial actress who appeared in, I think, the Willow TV series. And,
it's woke! It's woke! 28 years later, it's woke! I'm just kidding.
I hope she's actually good in this, though. I hope she's actually good in this time, because she's been pretty terrible in everything else she's been in.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is a concern. And I mean, it may not be that she's been in some terrible things as well. So
she just has to get on the right material, guys. All right.
Yeah, Tomby is saying, let's all go and watch it in London. Tomby, can you send me files that I can download of those images, please? Preferably now, so I can share them on screen for the thing on the 20th. I can't download those files. They're not JPEGs. They're JPG or something. So I can't download them.
Oh, JPFs are like the new thing they're doing, which is annoying.
Yeah, I can't take them off of Twitter. He sent them to my inbox, but they will not download.
You have to like copy and paste them, and then, or you could save them and open them in your media, and then with your media opener, you can convert them to JPEGs, and then it's one of those things.
So for anyone who hasn't heard already, there is a YouTubers London meetup on the 20th of December in London, which me and Tomby are organising. It's in the same place as the last YouTube meetup when Gary and co all came over. So it's the same bar in Old Street, the same sports bar. There is a page for this. There's a page on Facebook. So any of the supporters of any of our channels are welcome to come along. So, you know, and I'm also, purely by coincidence, going to have a few copies of my book with me to sign. If you do want a copy, they're $10.99. So just bring cash, which I know is quite rare. I will not have a card machine on me, but if you do want a copy of the book, you want a signed copy of the book, I'll have a few on me. I want to have loads.
Congratulations, Lance.
Thank you. Don't worry.
I mean, can't people like Venmo you or something?
What's that?
Can't someone like Venmo you or something? PayPal, Cash
Yeah,
App?
somebody can PayPal me. You can PayPal me.
We're living in the future, Lance. You're forgetting things. You're forgetting.
Yeah. You can PayPal me on the day if you want. As long as I can confirm the money's there, I'll happily impart a copy for you. But this is not a hobby. This is my living. So this is what I do. Little toxic. You should use Cash Apps. Many things are sold that way, indeed. Yeah. So Aaron, you know where it is. Yeah, you know where it is. So looking forward to seeing people. You can pay in Bitcoin as long as you give me 20 of the original Bitcoins that are worth lots of money. Yeah. All right. So we'll move on. Inside Man, have you watched anything else that you were going to talk about this week?
Yeah. Well, you know I can't stand 80s movies.
Yeah, well, but yet again, you're going to recommend an 80s movie that you can't stand.
Well, I watched 10 to Midnight for the first time in decades.
Starring Charles Bronson?
Yeah, Charlie Bronson.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
Yeah,
isn't that directed by Michael Winner?
No, I think it's is it J. Lee Thompson that directed that one? I think it was J. Lee Thompson. But it's Charlie Bronson plays a tough cop, and yeah, as he says, he sure is some tough son of a bitch. So he plays this plays this tough cop, no kind of compromising kind of cop, and there's a series of killings of these young women. And of course, they think they have the suspect. They kind of know who the guy is, but he's kind of evading them. They don't know for sure, and there's some evidence planting going on, you know. It's pretty gripping. It really is. I'd forgotten how good it was. It's got Lisa Eilbacher in it, from Officer and a Gentleman and Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah,
Wilford Brimley's in it.
She's no longer with us. She's no longer with us.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
She died quite young, man. Like a few years ago. Like got a weird virus and just Little Toxic would be upset if I didn't mention this. She passed away.
I'd be surprised if anyone was still, because when this movie come out, like early 80s.
No,
I think it was like 83.
She was young. She was very young.
I said, when did this movie come out? Early 80s? Because I'd be surprised if anyone's still alive from this movie.
Yeah, 83.
No, she was. I mean, Wilford Brimley, Jeff Lee Lewis, and Andrew Stevens have all gone, but Gina Davis is still around. So, but yeah, she was not that old. I mean, I think she was like maybe 50 something or something like that. I'll check anyway. Yeah. But sorry, carry on. Inside.
Yeah, it's pretty gripping. It kind of, the reason I like it is because it kind of.
Oh no, she's still alive. Sorry.
Oh, thank God.
It's the other girl from Officer and a Gentleman, I think. Yeah. Sorry about
that. Thank God for that. But yeah.
Lisa Blount is the one who passed away young. Who was in Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter film. She passed away at 50.
Lance is toying with us.
Sorry,
that film
she's got the same first name, but sorry, Miss Basher, I do apologize for prematurely announcing your death on live YouTube.
I grew up watching Charles Bronson movies. Like, I'd say my favorite one was Shadow's Land.
Well, we're not talking about that one. We're talking about this one. Have you seen this one, Leroy?
Yeah, but like I said, last time I saw it, I was a kid. I saw the censored version because it was on TV. I never saw like it on VHS or anything like that. But you know, when he I thought he messed up when he planted the evidence on the guy, because he was after the guy did do it. The guy was a serial killer.
Yeah.
But Charles Bronson's character, and I know his daughter, I think it was a nurse or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And he planted the evidence, and which was a mistake. That's how he screwed up. But in the end, the serial killer got his.
I mean, the guy who plays the serial killer, for goodness sake, I can't remember the guy's name now.
I think he was also in Jeffrey Lewis, I think, in the film.
He was in Cruising, wasn't he? With Al Pacino. William Friedkin's Cruising, and he's really good in this. I mean, he's a fucking creepy bastard. He really is creepy.
He's got those really weird eyes.
Yeah, this is really quite an unpleasant character he plays, but he plays it well because you absolutely loathe the bloke. You know, he's
like a Ted Bundy.
Yeah. I mean, he literally makes you feel quite physically sick. He's a really kind of greasy sort of deeply unpleasant person. But the killings aren't, they're not particularly graphic, but they're unpleasant.
Yeah, I remember.
They're really not nice.
He seems to enjoy using a butcher knife.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well remembered. For a movie that you haven't seen for years, that's pretty well remembered.
Well, hey, that's something you don't forget.
Yeah, but it's it's a good movie. And I can't stand 80s movies, and this is one of those 80s movies.
Not only is this an 80s movie, it's a canon 80s movie.
It's a canon 80s movie. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, how come, Inside Man? Can I ask you a question? How come you don't like 80s movies?
I just think that they're not gritty enough. I actually tried last night to watch To Live and Die in LA, and I thought, oh my God, what a pile of garbage!
You're wrong. You are so wrong. That is
my God! I desperately tried.
I have to say, I think that film is overrated as well.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with you.
It was one of those. It was one of those that I thought back in the day. I thought, yeah, this is good. It's quite a slick movie, and Unfortunately, as soon as I heard the words, "I'm getting too old for this shit," from a cop that's just coming up to retirement, and then the cop dies 2 days before his retirement, and his partner, younger buddy partner, is going to go out on a revenge killing for to revenge the death of his partner. Oh God, tropey.
I thought that was originally from Lethal Weapon. I'm getting too old.
No, it's in the opening scene of To Live and Die in LA. I'm getting too old for this shit, and a much overused piece of dialogue, unfortunately. And I don't think it's William Friedkin's finest hour. It doesn't look particularly good either. There's a little bit of it's kind of slightly. I know we're kind of getting off the beaten track a little bit, but To Live and Die in LA is slightly early Michael Mann. It's almost like he was trying to emulate a little bit of Miami Vice, along with all the sunsets and maybe a little bit of Tony Scott in there somewhere. I didn't particularly like it, but in terms of 10 to Midnight, the reason I actually like it is because it feels more like a 70s movie. It's a kind of quite a dirty, nasty kind of movie, and I like my dirty, nasty movies. It's unpleasant. It's an unpleasant film, but I loved it.
What would you give 10 to Midnight out of 10?
I'd give it a 7. Sorry, Leroy.
No, I want you to finish it because I think there's a movie. I was asking if you've seen a movie an 80s movie that I saw a couple of years ago. Starring Chuck Norris. Have you seen Hero and the Terror?
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that at the cinema in America. It's actually in my 1980s. It's in my 1988 book. It's in there.
I gotta tell you something. I'm a big Chuck Norris fan, just like I'm a Charles Bronson fan. Even though Hero and the Terror, in my opinion, wasn't one of Chuck Norris's best films, it wasn't a bad movie. And the fact the guy who played
the Simon Moon, wasn't it? They tried to make it a bit more cerebral and like a kind of, more of an intelligent police drama film rather than a straight up kind of B picture. But it was still a canon movie at the end of the day, and they didn't want to spend money on it. So there was an effort was made, but it's still average. It's not bad.
It wasn't bad. Like, especially the scene between Chuck Norris and the mayor, arguing back and forth about Simon Moon being dead or not. And the guy who played Simon Moon, he played Nod in Superman 1 and 2, General Zod's giant sidekick. He wasn't bad playing this villain.
Let me just read out this super chat because I nearly forgot about it. Recruiting for top 4 of 2024 in January. Get him, Enzo. Enzo,
I understand. Yeah, I understand. He's talking about doing a stream where we do the top 4 movies of the. You know what I just looked up? When are the Oscars? The Oscars are the beginning of March.
Well,
I'm assuming we'll do.
I'm never watching the Oscars ever again.
No,
I'm going to do. I'm not interested.
How did you really get Gladstone?
I'm not watching the Oscars this year, but next year. I'm going to do a stream at the end of the year. It will probably be. I think it's probably going to be on the 30th. So, and I'll be doing a kind of, year review. What was the best TV show? What was the disappointment? Maybe I might do a top 5 movies, but yeah. So,
would you mind if I just quickly really disappointed Leroy and tell him my Charles Bronson story?
Sure.
Very quickly.
It's very quickly. Right. Okay. Yeah, so I was doing Death Wish 3, directed by Michael Winner. And of course, I got to the set and Michael Winner. First of all, I just want to quickly give a context. Our version of Roger Ebert in this country was a guy called Barry Norman. Okay. So I got to the set and introduced to Michael Winner. And he said, "So who are you, dear?" And I told him my name. He said, "What are you going to be doing?" So I explained what I was there for and everything. And he said, "So why'd you want to work with me then?" I said, "Well, I'm a big fan of Death Wish and The Mechanic." I said, "I absolutely love Death Wish." He said, "Hang on a minute." He said, "When did you see Death Wish?" I said, "Well, I think I was about 8." He said, "You saw Death Wish at 8?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "So tell me, love." He said, "You're not a psychopath, are you? You've never killed anyone." I said, "No." He said, "Well, remember to tell Barry fucking Norman when he comes to the set on the press day." He said, "Let me just introduce you to Charlie." So takes me over to Bronson and he says, "Charlie, darling," he says, "Oh, this young man," he said, "he's seen all your films and he loves them. He's a big fan." And Bronson turns around and says, "So what?" "So what?" "Well, thanks very much." So what?
Yeah, I heard he was a miserable sod.
Yeah, I think it was something that, I mean, his wife unfortunately was terminally ill at that time, so I kind of get the
mental impact on him. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I kind of like withered a little bit there and just felt really, that was unpleasant.
What did Michael Winner say after he said that?
"Take no notice, darling."
Right, he's having a bad day.
Yeah,
it kind of made me like Michael Winner a bit more.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's not the most pleasant person to work with either, from what I heard.
No.
Yeah, I think he tried to be a food critic once, and got shit for it because he was a bit of a Dick Len as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's
well, he was good at eating it.
Yeah. I mean, he certainly rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. Although I will say that he has made a couple of cracking films.
Most directors usually are a little bit though, aren't they? Usually are a little bit because
his best movie is in my new book. It's the second one mentioned. So get your copy of Silver Screen Journeys now
to discover.
Michael Winner's best film is in there. So you two can discover which one that is. Okay, so 10 to
It's
midnight.
not the Wicked Lady, is it? It's the Wicked Lady,
No,
isn't it? Tell me
it's not the Wicked Lady. No. Yeah, it's not the Wicked Lady. Yeah, okay. So Blue wanted me to mention the ballerina trailer. Oh, well, now I think I haven't watched it yet, but I think my friend is in it. So we should have a look at it. And yeah, we should have a look at it and risk once again getting. Could you find me the official link? There's loads of different ones online. I don't know which one is the right one.
I guess this is like the new one. So let me check YouTube.
Ballerina trailer 2 weeks ago, 5 days ago. Some of these will be fake. They always are.
Say the 5 days ago one.
So. 5 days ago. It's only got 118,000 views. That can't be right. Screen Culture's dropped that. Don't trust them. Somebody get me the official link.
Oh, sorry. This is from Lionsgate. So 2 days ago, it's the from the World of John Wick extended look. So that's a read from Lionsgate itself.
Okay, can you drop the link so I can put it? I can get it.
Okay.
We'll have a quick look. The trailer with old guy with Christopher Waltz. That looks kind of cool. That looks like a.
Well, it's cool. They showed like more Lance Reddick talking, which is everyone's like obviously passed away, but seeing him talk again about ballerina and about John Wick, just seeing him talk about more behind the scenes stuff because he's in this film. So I think this is his last performance.
I think, I heard it was the last performance. It was made before he died. His death shocked me. In fact, a lot of people who died this year and last year surprised me.
Still very young when he died.
Yeah.
Who are you talking about?
Lance Reddick, who played
Oh, Lance Reddick. Yeah. God, sorry, I thought you were talking about Christopher Waltz. Yeah, no, that was a real shock, man. With Reddick.
Who died? Christopher Waltz?
Reddick. No, he hasn't died. That's who I thought you were talking about. I was thinking, when did that happen? I didn't hear about Toxic. Hadn't told me about that one. So,
Lance Reddick just shocked me. Oh, you know who else died? I know you guys knew. The guy who played Candyman, Tony Todd.
Yeah.
He died a couple months back. He was young too. He was like 69, 70.
Damn.
Yeah, saw that.
We lost a lot of people this year.
70's the new 40. Don't forget.
Tony Todd's in the new Indiana Jones game.
Yeah, Tony Todd was great in Star Trek as well. He was brilliant as Worf's
as Worf's brother.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at this. This is a good friend of mine. So there's Sharon Duncan Brewster, who was in June. She just posted about.
I thought she looked familiar.
Check out the ballerina trailer, and also she's doing a character. She did completely different from her actual voice. Looks amazing. No, all right. Well, all right. I think we got the idea. Extended look trailer. I don't like too many spoilers, so I don't want to see.
Yeah, what is this,
cool
Blue?
action.
Why are you wasting our time with this crap?
It was Blue's idea, man. Blame him.
Thank you, Blue.
Plus my friends in it.
Well, just as usual, the same people online who just the same people who talk about Sarah Connor, Ellen Ripley. Hey, we want more female characters, and we see female characters.
I don't want more female characters if they just have guns and kick everyone's asses. That's not what I'm talking about. I want females who do women shit. I don't why. This isn't making strong female characters when you take a woman and just turn her into a badass. It's not. That's not.
We just had the Me Too movement not long ago.
Yeah.
Fuck Me Too. Fuck all those whores.
The thing is, like, Halle Berry was good in John Wick 3. So I'm fine
tired of this. One of the best female characters, strong female characters written was the mom in Boyhood, played by Patricia Arquette.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm thinking of. A woman with depth and feeling and feels real. Just taking your average male action protagonist and turning that into a woman that is not a strong female character. I'm sorry, because they weren't strong male characters when they were written originally.
Well, John Wick was.
No, he's not.
It was.
Describe John Wick in more than other than him being a badass and that he's quiet. Exactly. Yeah. How else would you describe John Wick as a character? Describe John Wick in 6 adjectives, please.
You said badass, silent. I mean, that's all you need.
Hair, dog,
deadly, ruthless.
Does he go through any kind of character arcs or changes in any of the movies? No, exactly.
Yeah,
that's some of the best.
That's what I'm saying with this one. This is this is in the world of John Wick. I mean, he's
La Femme Nikita, Lord Toxic. La Femme Nikita is different. Yeah, she's that was the good one with Luc Besson because she is like the standard action chick flick, but she's like way over her head.
Stupendous. I have to strongly disagree with you because I thought Terminator 2, Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley were two of my favorite badass chicks. I'm not.
Yeah.
Now, if you
they work because of their mother.
One, but
yeah, they work because of their whole matriarchal, their mother stuff. That's what makes them stronger characters. If they didn't have if Ellen didn't have Newt and Sarah Connor didn't have John, I don't think they would have worked as well.
That's probably
and in Terminator 1, Sarah Connor's like totally not a strong female. She's a kind of a woman on the run. She's afraid, and she kind of reluctantly has to kill a Terminator.
Well, I'd say Marvel had Zoe being Gamora, and on top of we talked about this show called Lioness, which has a main female character who's kicking ass and shooting guns.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the poll is 56% for yes, going to see going to see the zombie film. Yeah, 44%.
Good. That means they're smart people.
Well, yeah, but it's still, percentage wins. So the yeses take it. Or I'm gonna.
Blue has to go.
Can I say something?
Yeah, I'll text you guys about the Ray Fiennes movie. Okay, let you know.
Why do people pronounce his name Rafe? Isn't it Ralph?
No, it's Rafe. That's how he. Yeah.
Can I say something?
I like to be called Rafe, not Ralph.
I would like to see. Yeah, I would like to see a lot more westerns or modern day or historical movies like The Revenant, because it's like I said, there's too many horror and science fiction going on. It's like people forgot. I remember when westerns used to be great, and like Tombstone was probably the best western of the late 20th century, and I would like to see a lot more of that.
I think Silverado was way better than Tombstone.
I only saw the ending of Silverado.
Silverado's fine.
Well, that means you haven't seen it, so that's no good. You got to see the whole thing.
Young Guns and Young Guns 2 were good.
Yeah, but they weren't as good as Silverado, in my opinion. I'd like to see some more good westerns. Unfortunately, what we're getting is very cheaply made westerns shot for under $1 million.
That's because westerns tend to be, filmmakers' first foray into motion pictures. They usually start with a western because they're filmed outdoors, mostly a lot of natural light, and also, the western genre is just like, it got killed from the space race back in the 60s, and it's been struggling to come back. I mean, there was kind of a resurgence in the 80s and 90s with that kind of the deconstructions, like with Unforgiven and Tombstone, and I love The Quick and the Dead. We watched that on Blue Collar's channel. That's a fun one. But
I didn't feel that one.
Good.
That one's a little zany, but I like it.
The Revenant and a lot of my fellow authors did not like The Revenant. I thought The Revenant, even though it wasn't historically accurate, it was definitely good. And
anyway, it is not Western Happy Hour tonight, so we're going to move on.
I'm sorry, man.
Right. So, because I'm sorry, we're on a tight time schedule tonight because I'm doing another stream, not that long. So
forgive me, Lance.
We're going to get into Landman, which is kind of like a modern Western with oil. This was recommended to us last week by none other than Lord Toxic, who has just said Silverado is the best Western ever. I'm glad I quoted that exactly. Recommended it. I watched one episode, and then I watched 3 more immediately.
I've seen all 5 episodes.
Very good. I've seen all 5 now, but there was only 4 available on that day. So, I'm up to speed. It is good. Who else has seen it apart from me and Leroy? Anyone?
No.
Anyone?
I'm still trying to get on to watching it. I've got Lioness to watch, and this as well. It's I've still got Tulsa King season 2 to watch as well. It's just too much.
Can we talk about Billy Bob's fashion choices here? What do we reckon on the shoes, and what's going on with this hat?
He's a
weirdo. Get a pair of black loafers, something like that, and
Is that one hat, or is that a cowboy, like a tumbler on top of a beanie?
I think
or is that a beanie? Or is that a beanie shaped like a bowler hat? What's going on with that hat?
It's either a beanie with a hat on top of it, or it's a hat that's got an extendable beanie thing.
Yeah, either way, very strange. I'm gonna wear a cowboy hat over a beanie.
Well,
I will say this. I will say this. I'm not even a big Billy Bob Thornton fan. This show, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is probably his best performance.
It's definitely one of it. He gets to have fun with his character. Ali Larter is fucking awesome in this. She's having the time of her life in this role.
Damn, she still looks good.
Yes, she does.
Demi Moore as well.
Demi Moore hasn't said much in the show. She's
her storyline is coming, I think, but she's only had a couple of.
Her husband has done more talking. I was mad when they killed him off.
Well,
they set that up deliberately so that we didn't see it coming. They got two big name actors to play those roles, and you thought they were going to be big characters in the show. You got invested in them just enough. So when they killed them off, it's a real shock. That's
I see they do that with big actors because they can't afford them or they don't want to keep paying them their higher rates. So it's usually common for the bigger actor to get killed. It's like it's all over again.
It's a shock tactic because they make you think that's going to be a lead in the show.
Dude, remember Steven Seagal in Executive Decision? That was like, what?
That shocked me.
Did he just get thrown out of the plane? Is he dead? That's it. That's
awesome. That was the best. That was the best thing that happened for that movie was that Seagal was not in it very long.
He gets sucked out of the. That was great.
Space Ice must have creamed his fucking mulleted boxes when that happened. It really must have.
I really like this actor, Colm. I don't know if you pronounce that surname. Ferrore.
I've seen a couple of his movies. This is my favorite scene in this. I think this is episode 4. This is my favorite scene right here. That girl's one tough. You know what?
Yeah, she was good. Really good. That was.
See you next Tuesday.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I like to headcanon that Billy Bob Thornton is playing the same character he played from the movie Intolerable Cruelty. With George Clooney and Catherine Zeta-Jones. He's like the oil man.
Yeah, that little small scene he had. Where it's like
he's like the oil man. But then it's revealed that he was an actor all along. That's such a funny ass movie. It's one of the Coen brothers' worst movies. And it's still so great.
Movies. Anyway. It really is one of the Coen brothers.
You know what? I'm not sure I've seen it.
It is good. Check it out.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's about divorces and divorce lawyers.
Well, look, for anybody who hasn't watched this show, it's basically about a particular oil company, one of the independents. Billy Bob Thornton is their landman. He's the guy that deals with the crews on the ground and liaises with the bosses over shit that's going on. He's also responsible for kind of cleaning up any messes. John Hamm is sort of like the man at the top of the food chain, married to Demi Moore, got beautiful daughters, etc. This is the new kid on the block who also happens to be Billy Bob Thornton's son. Not his literal son, his character's son. So and he's got a bit of a story. It's not an action show, but it's kind of like Dallas, but with way more tension. Really good dialogue, very well acted, really well shot. It's kind of nice to see stuff being filmed in Texas as well. So I liked it. Thanks for the recommendation. Toxic so far for me. It's a solid 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. I'll reserve until I've seen the whole season, but that's a good rating. What are you on about? It's not the best show ever made.
Minimum 9 out of 10. Minimum 9.
Well, you can give it that. I'm giving my rating. You can give it that. So your rating is 9. Okay, so my rating is
minimum 9 out of 10.
Mine's 7.5 to 8 because I haven't seen it all yet. When we get to the end of the season, I'll probably revise my rating, but that's where it's at right now. It's good. It's good. It's solid. I like it. Is it the best thing I've ever seen? No, but it is good. It's up there. But it's oil. It's Texas. It's cowboy hats. You got to be.
Hey, Lance, I will say this: after I started watching the show, it got me thinking because me and my two childhood friends of mine. If we had, I was talking to them, I was telling them if we could do it over again, once we graduate from high school, we should have applied for jobs as roughnecks on an oil rigs. I think even though it's a dangerous job, long hours, but the pay would be good. And I think for 3 18-year-old black kids from Maryland, we could have done it.
But you didn't.
Yeah, that's true. But it would have been nice to give it a shot.
That's a TV show that I would watch. Darth Plato says Leroy only knows 2 numbers, 9 and 10. No, that's not true. Funny. He's given some 8s out before. All right, so that's Landman. I do want to talk about a couple of other things, but we've only got 20 minutes left. I've got to finish at midnight. Northern. Right. Yeah, we're on a tight time tonight. So, Northern, did you have anything quickly you wanted to recommend that we haven't talked about?
Not at the moment. I did watch all the Harry Potter movies with the missus. And I don't know if I'd recommend them. I'd reckon I can't.
They're overrated. Move on. Okay.
I love them. I love them.
No, they're all right. We're not doing Harry Potter tonight. That's a can of worms, mate. We got to spend longer than a minute.
Can I recommend something?
Yeah.
No, not yet. Wait your turn. I'm going round. Right. Northern, anything else apart from Harry Potter? Because that's a big topic. I don't want to get into that now.
Yeah, no. Well, can I recommend a video game then?
Yeah, absolutely.
No? Yeah, Batman Arkham
Origins. Can, yeah.
Just been replaying that as well, and it's probably the only game I know that's set around Christmas. And so you got Gotham City caked in snow and Christmas decorations, and it's dark and it's noirish, and you're the fucking bat and you're beating up scumbags. And the story's actually pretty good. It's like you got to try and avoid these assassins trying to kill you, and it's the first time this Batman comes across the Joker, who's not played by Mark Hamill, but he's played by Troy Baker from The Last of Us and a lot of the Naughty Dog games. He's voiced loads of characters. And
is this like a remaster of an older game?
No, it's a classic game. Game I've got on Xbox 360, and the graphics are not as good as Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, but it's still very immersive, and you still feel like you're Batman. You don't feel like you're playing Batman. You are Batman, and the guy who's kind of playing a younger version of the Kevin Conroy Batman does a fucking great job. I mean, he honestly, since Kevin Conroy has now sadly passed away, the guy who does him in Arkham Origins should be like a regular voice actor for Batman in any animated medium. He should be. He's so good.
I just want to check to see who's up to speed on Skeleton Crew episodes.
Oh
yeah, I need to binge it. I need to binge it as well because I'm on another stream and talking.
I'm not interested in Skeleton Crew.
Did you say episode 5?
From what I've heard, it's a kids show.
Well, it is a kids show, and we've been discussing it as such. But I've seen the first 2. Are there any more episodes out than that?
I think there's a third one, hopefully, and I haven't seen it though. I'll wait a few weeks and watch the rest. I don't know.
Did they make for this photo? Did they make this kid actually dress in this costume?
No,
no, that's him there, right?
Yeah,
it's going to reminds me of Michael Jackson in the 70s a little bit there.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, it's a kid's show. It's fine as a kid's show. It feels more Star Wars by episode 2. I think I'll kind of reserve final judgment on it until I've seen the whole thing. So far, it's okay. It's not as bad as The Acolyte, although, of course, that is a very, 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 very low bar. So, yeah. Who's got a copy of my book thus far?
Mine should be arriving tomorrow morning.
Excellent. Good to hear. Thank you very much for your support.
Pleasure.
Some of the typos have been corrected. There are still a few in there. Northern's edition has got quite a few. Looks like Skeleton Crew took a page from Muppet Babies, says Arthur Plato. So this is the superb artwork for our London meetup, which I can't take responsible for. But I love the way that Tomby has got that. I mean, I don't have it right now because I've just had my hair cut. But he's got that. I used to have those 3 strands of hair that would always like tilt down from my head. He's really nailed that.
Look like Charlie Sheen there.
That's supposed to be Stupenzo in the middle at the back there. We're hoping you'll come over, Stupenzo.
Yep. Get my passport ready right now.
Yeah. So
I could not have made you more stereotypically Italian there, Stupenzo. It's hilarious.
I don't know who the other people are, but I have heard there's a couple of other people coming. And we just listen. It's an informal thing. We're gonna be at this place on the 20th, Sports Bar and Grill on Old Street. Basically, gonna get pissed and celebrate Christmas. Actually, I'm going raving the following day, so I'll be taking it a little bit easy. But should be a hoot. I will be there from 6 o'clock. I'll be there from 6 o'clock, at least until probably 6 until 10. Gary Bolter rumored to be flying in on helicopter. to attend. So we'll see what happens. Keith got a copy and left a review. Okay. Thank you so much, Keith. Thank you. Yeah, so the book is now available from Amazon. .co.uk, Amazon.com, and I've sold a few. I could do with selling a few more. Remember, I want to get 100 reviews on Amazon by New Year's Day. It is definitely doable with all the people that I know. Please do pick up a copy and support me. It's I'm probably proudest of this book, and I do think it is the most relatable. It's the one that probably anybody could pick up, and there'll be something in it. They'll get something out of it. Aaron, great. It'd be great to meet you in person, mate. Are violent felons allowed into the UK? I'm not sure about that. So you'll have to check with Border Force and see what happens. But Inside Man's often manning the desk, so he might let you in. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I've got quite a few other interviews lined up. Let me. I'm going to talk about them because we do need to advertise them. There isn't a lot of advertising on YouTube these days that works very well. So let me talk about the ones that I've got coming up. I've got Anthony P, house music DJ and co-founder of Raveolution, coming in tomorrow. Raveolution is a London music event which was co-founded by Anthony and Jess Jones. Jess Jones passed away just a couple of weeks ago, sadly. And I had just asked him, I just met him, actually. I just asked him to come on my channel when that happened. Big shock to everybody because he was in really good health. Unfortunately, we think he had a habit of kind of leaning back on his chair when he was on the phone, and we think he fell back on his chair, unfortunately, and injured himself. We're not entirely sure, but that's what we believe happened. Really, really well-loved man, quite the character, a very generous person, had a lot of time for people, ran some really amazing events, and Raveolution was his baby, basically. So Anthony is coming on. We're going to talk about Raveolution. We're going to talk about Anthony's career, and we are going to talk about the late Jess Jones. So it'll be a bit of a dedication for Jess tomorrow. There he is. So lovely guy. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an emotional stream tomorrow, I think. Then I've also got several interviews lined up next week as well. I've got 3 in a row. So don't forget, I'm on interview 91 at the minute. For those people who were watching, one of the members of the Electric Light Orchestra Part 2, and also the orchestra, which is the 3rd incarnation of ELO, was on my channel last night. The interview happened very out of the blue. See what I did there? And this is the orchestra, Mick Kaminsky on the left there. Parthian Huxley, known as Hux, who played guitar with them when Phil Bates had to leave for a while, was with ELO2 for a substantial period of time. And he was also with the orchestra for a substantial period of time. I saw him live twice. He came on the channel last night at 11:30 in the evening, gave me this great interview about his time with ELO, his time sort of doing singles in Los Angeles, the music business, all kinds of things. What a fantastic guest. Really nice guy. It was a proper honor to have him on the show. No. Toxic is not persona non grata. What are you on about? I've been recommending stuff that Toxic has told me about all night. No, I try to keep the number of people on the stream. Normally, there's 4 of us. If we get to more than 6, there's not enough time for everybody to talk. So I'm not going to get like 8 people on here. It's just too many. Yeah. So I also have another independent filmmaker coming on next week to talk about their film, which is called IC9. That is coming out in the new year. Gulshan Singh, who's an indie director, raised the money for the film independently with a producer team. Of course, wasn't all him. We're going to be talking about that film. That is next week. So that's another one. Then we also have finally coming on the channel, because you guys will have seen me play a certain clip on this channel from time to time, a music clip. And I'm going to talk about that quickly. Yeah, Vicky Lee, the legendary dancer of London clubs, who's in both of those clips, is coming on the channel next week.
Is she single?
On next Wednesday. Leroy, honestly. Yeah, you know, when people say things like that, we don't get these people on the channel. That's what happens. So she's coming on the channel next week to talk about her career. She's worked in Ibiza, all of the legendary clubs in London. She's been in the business for quite a long time. She's also a health and fitness specialist, so we'll be talking about that and a whole load of other stuff. So so we're going to be covering all of those as well. Quite a lot of stuff coming up on the channel, as well as the Nielsen ratings. I think there's only going to be 2 more episodes of Nielsen ratings between now and the end of the year. So we are going to be doing a special stream on the 30th. So on the 30th of December, there will be a special sort of reflecting back on 2024, and I'll be talking about a whole plethora of topics. It'll be a slightly longer than usual stream. All my regular panelists will be welcome, of course. And then I'll see if I can have a few other people kind of pop in and pop out.
Thank you, Lance.
So, yeah. So, I see. Yeah. Thanks, Toxic. I got that all mixed up. I see what you're saying. We are now 9 interviews away from 100. I just did interview 91 with indie director James Twyman earlier today, who wrote and directed the boxing movie Ringside, which you can currently watch on Amazon. And do you know what? I've watched it. It's not a bad film. It's very much like an early Shane Meadows film, but it's got a lot of heart, and the mostly no-name actors in it are actually pretty good. Shot on the council estates of Manchester. You want to check it out. And the boxing scenes are well done. So yeah, I liked it. Not a bad film. Not a bad film in any sense. So, yeah, we are 9 interviews away from 100. I've got 4 or 5 scheduled. Whether I'll hit 100 before the end of the year, I'm not sure. We'll see. Might be able to get a couple more in. But, yeah. So, guys, yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight. Unless, Enzo, did you want to shout out anything else? Because I know you had a couple of other films you wanted to talk about. We've only got a couple.
Yeah, I haven't recommended anything today. I was gonna say,
yeah, man. Well, you're my co-host. You've got to interrupt me more. Get in there.
I literally put it in the chat twice. Anyway,
yeah, I've just seen it. Sorry.
I watched a really funny current movie, which are pretty rare these days. I think the fact that it was made in Greenland probably helps, but it's called Heavier Trip. And it is kind of like a Metalocalypse style comedy about a black metal band, Norwegian death metal. And yeah, it was actually pretty funny. These guys are in a prison because their last show was so hardcore it incited like a deadly riot. They're the most hardcore band ever. And yeah, they're just like a cast of zany 4 guys, and they're gonna break out of their prison to go play at a metal fest. And just a really lot of good metal jokes. There's like one guy they meet who's got a voice he's like a singer in a death metal band, and he talks so low. His voice is so low that he has to inhale helium so people can understand him. It's like, dude, there's a lot of great jokes like that in this movie, but it's really funny. So I recommend Heavier Trip.
I've just seen the post of it, and on the poster alone, I have to see this movie.
Yeah, it's great. The drummer has like this rage thing where like if he gets angry, his eyes turn solid black and he goes into like demon mode and breaks things. The bass player is the big guy, and he is like such a like heavy metal purist. You know, everyone's a poser, everyone's a sellout. You know, it's very, very funny movie. So yeah, yeah, definitely recommend that show. Yeah, another one I watched recently. I'm preparing for Nadia's big horror tier stream for the holidays, where we're watching all these Christmas and Thanksgiving related horror movies. Some of them are awful. I watched like all the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, which were not good, but they're fun. And it's funny because Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is so famous for the garbage day scene. But like Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is basically like just showing clips from the first movie for like 80% of the movie. But anyway, I digress. I watched a good one in preparation for the stream, and it's from 2021, and it's called The Lodge. And this was like one of these movies that you could probably tell was probably affected by the Coof, because the whole movie takes place in a lodge with like basically three characters, father and son and daughter. Father has a new girlfriend, and mother, who's played by Alicia Silverstone briefly, she commits a schmuicide, and now the kids are distraught, and the father is marrying this new young model-looking girl, and the kids hate her, and they're going to go stay in a lodge for the Christmas season, and it's cold, and they have like a gas furnace and generators, and it's the father's going out to work for the day or two. And basically they find out that the girl, the wife, the new fiance, is like a suicide cult survivor. And the kids do not like her. And then there's creepy stuff happening around the lodge where the power's out. And I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, she basically is kind of she's like not the woman you want to be stuck with in a case of cabin fever. And it's got a really great, ending. I don't want to spoil it, but it's one of those things where it's really creepy and it pays off pretty well. So I would recommend it. Creepy movie.
I like the way it's shot. It's got some.
It's really a cozy movie too. I love watching movies like, oh, it's going to be 30 degrees tomorrow, Fahrenheit. Like I want to watch something bundled up and kind of like The Thing. This is kind of one of those movies. It's like the whole movie takes place in a cold, icy cabin, with like the wood stove burning and stuff. It's fun.
Is this the happy ending funeral sequence where they're all
the funeral where they all have black balloons? I've never seen that. I hope that doesn't become a thing.
That's just nuts. And I just looking at that thinking someone sat in a room and came up with that idea. It's kind of cool.
I was literally like, oh, Alicia Silverstone's in this movie, and then she's dead like 60 seconds after I said that. I was like, whoa, okay, never mind.
Wow.
Kind of not a spoiler. It's
no, because it is like a big plot point that gets the plot going. I mean, she's the new replacement mommy, and she's got a lot of shoes to fill, and there's creepy stuff going on with mom's the family's cabin. I don't know. The lodge is creepy. It was creepy. It was one of the better movies I watched in this horror tier preparation. So yeah, it was good.
Have you done Rare Exports? Have you watched Rare Exports?
Yeah, and that's not on the list for some reason. But yes, of course I've watched Rare Exports. That's a good one.
Yeah.
There's a few other ones that weren't on the list, like Santa's Sleigh with Goldberg, the wrestler.
I never saw that one, but I heard
that
it.
Was that was not good. A lot of these are not good.
Rare Exports.
Rare Exports.
Yeah,
Rare Exports. Oh,
Rare Exports is a different movie.
Your Exports recommended me that last year.
It sounded a bit dodge.
Yeah,
Rare Exports was the one where Santa's like a crazy Norwegian monster or something like that. Yeah, where he's like a demon.
Yeah,
not Krampus.
I've not seen this, but the cover makes me interested.
It's really good.
Exports.
Yeah,
this Christmas everyone will believe in Santa Claus. Yeah, I mean, it looks fun.
It's very good. Yeah.
Of these, well, give us the scores out of 10 for these films. Your recommendation.
Oh yeah, The Lodge, I'd give like a solid 8.5 out of 10. It's a pretty bare bones movie. But the Heavier Trip, I would give like a 9 out of 10 just for being, it was good to laugh at a movie for once that was new, a movie that was unabashedly hilarious. And yeah, Rare Exports, I'd also give like an 8.5 out of 10. That's just a fun, wild movie.
Yeah.
Inside Man, have you seen this?
Well, Rare Exports, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. An easy 9, yeah. Yeah, it's a good one.
Damn, dude. Well, how come you haven't recommended this to us before? This looks like a good film. I've never heard of this.
Hey, it's not good, but it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it over to you.
A good film for me.
Yeah.
I'll drop it into my OneDrive. I've got it, mate. I'll drop it into my OneDrive so you can have a peek at it.
I mean, you'll send me a link to where I can watch it legally.
Yeah, that's what. No.
Yes.
No. I don't know what I'm saying. No. Forget I said that.
Yeah. Well, I will find a place to watch it where I can pay for it. I might even buy it. So yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Very good. Northern, do you look like this right now?
All the time. All the time.
Stupenzo, does that cover everything?
Yeah, sure.
No, does it or doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does it
Wrap
cover
it up.
everything?
Yeah, we're
okay. All right. Well, we are going to have to wrap it up because I have to go. So we had quite a few people in the chat. Thank you very much. More than our usual 12, crawling up to 16. We have been, this is our spot. We've been here for quite a while on Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock. We had something scheduled opposite us, which is a bit annoying. So, hopefully that won't happen every week.
Hey, Lance, can I recommend a movie?
Well, very quickly, Leroy, because I'm due on another channel and I have to prepare for that.
Yeah, I just started watching this documentary called Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story.
Oh yeah,
it's on HBO.
We've talked about it before, but do give us your thoughts and your rating quickly.
It's so far it's really good. I just realized that we lost Christopher Reeve 20 years ago this past October, and if you're a fan of the Christopher Reeve Superman, which I'm sure a lot of us were, I think you would like this documentary. I'd give it a solid 8.5, 9. So far, I'm not done watching it yet. I got like 45 minutes left on it, but so far it's really good. Just prepare to have a tissue because you will cry.
Yeah, I've been. We did discuss it when it was in the cinema, and actually we briefly discussed it a couple of days ago. I funnily enough, I think I talked about it on Mr. Brown's channel on Sunday because that's why it's fresh in my head. I haven't seen it yet. Is this? Where are you watching it, Leroy? What platform is this on?
It's on HBO or HBO Max. I just started watching. I taped it on my DVR, and I got like 45 minutes left on it. But so far, I just can't believe it's been 20 years already. He would have been 72 today.
And well, I mean, what's your? I know you haven't seen the whole thing yet, but so far, what would you be giving it out of 10?
I'd say a solid 8.5, 9.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, just prepare to have a tissue when you watch it.
I will. Well, look, we are going to have to wrap things up there because timing is very tight tonight, and I also have to write at least one scene tonight for the script that I'm doing. So it just remains for me to thank my guests, Stupenzo, who I'll let go first next time so he can get all of those titles in early.
I'm going to recommend a bunch of Hallmark movies next time, just because.
Northern English Bastard, Inside Man, and of course, writer Leroy Peters. Do a quick search for him on Google. You will find loads of his Western books on Amazon. Don't forget to support me if you can. Please buy a copy of Silver Screen Journeys. If you do get a copy, please send me a picture of you holding the book. If you are a little bit camera shy, you can take a picture of it on a coffee table or with your favorite cuddly toy, whatever you feel is appropriate. I am just going to check the final outcome of our poll. Are people going to watch Ballerina? And it seems that the no's are winning on that one. So we're going to...
I'm going to watch Ballerina.
I mean, it could be interesting. I kind of want to see it to honor Lance Riddick. That's the reason I want to watch it. I did like him. He struck me as a very nice man. Shame I didn't get to work with him. But yeah, so thanks to everyone in the chat. You guys have been amazing. Thanks for the super chat as well. Always appreciate those. But nice to see a couple of new people in the chat earlier this evening when I was doing the industry interview. Subscribers wise, we are still creeping towards 5,000. So if you can tell people about the channel, tell them about the content. I know there's a lot of people that would like the content, especially the industry interviews, who just don't know the channel exists. We are at 4,832 subscribers right now. We really need to hit that 5K. So give us a shout out as and when you can on your social media. Tell people to like and subscribe. Don't forget as well, if you are an independent creative and you've got a project that needs a bit of a push, or you'd just like to come on and discuss it, please get in touch with me via the Outcast Creative Facebook page or my Twitter account, Lance Nielsen WD, and we'll get you on. But in the meantime, here's a word from Gary Bolter. Yes, we didn't get to do that yet, but we may in fact do it at the end of the year on the 30th. I may incorporate the quiz into part of my wrap-up show. So if you took part in it last year, come and battle it out against my team, who will go up against you. And here they are. So until then, we'll see you soon.